is Minzer. I'm the Executive Director of WordSpace, and together with our event sponsor, Half Price Books, we are delighted to bring Andrei Codrescu to Dallas in the Kessler Theater. Before I forget it, since mine is ringing, if you have one of these cell phones,
electric devices, let's turn it on. It's some of my friends in the audience texting me. Thank you for that. And any other electrical devices, I never know what they mean by that when they say. I mean, are there other electrical devices? Anyway, for those of you who don't know who WordSpace is, we're a nonprofit literary organization that supports literature in North Texas by connecting local writers with the best of world literature. We were founded in 1994 by the poet Robert Trammell and friends of his such as Adrian Trammell, Roxy Gordon, Jerry Kelly, David Searcy. WordSpace has presented programs across the broadest possible spectrum, and I do mean the broadest. Because of WordSpace, you may have seen Robert Creeley, Gerald Burns, Ray Wiley Hubbard back in the day, and Townes Van Zandt way back in the day, as well as Jeffrey Lyles, Terry Allen, and John Allen of the Caravan of Dreams. Thank you. This is...
Am I not supposed to use it? There we go. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. No, I'm never going to. Okay, in the most recently, we've hosted Ben Fountain, Ed Sanders, Dan Savage, and Amy Sedaris. And tonight, Andrei Codrescu makes his second WordSpace appearance in Dallas. In the course of a year, WordSpace presents more than 50 programs, including salons, multimedia, international events, film screenings, and festivals. These are made possible in part by the generous, actually, totally, by the generous, I don't know why I wrote that in there, by the generous support of Half Price Books. The City of Dallas Office of Cultural Affairs. And our members. You can see a complete list of our sponsors on our website, www.wordspace.us. Please consider joining WordSpace to make these programs possible. You can sign up at the front door if someone hasn't already hit you up. I also want to thank our amazing, wonderful volunteer board of directors. We are a group of working writers, educators, artists, and other very cool people, and they're all working the scene tonight, okay? Our biggest events are in partnership with the Kessler Theater, and a big thank you and shout out to Edwin Cabanis, Jeffrey Lyles, Paul Quigg, Kyle Thomas, Melissa, and everyone else associated with this wonderful, historic venue that makes such a huge cultural impact on our city. Yeah. Please join WordSpace, Half Price Books, and the Kessler Theater in welcoming musician, songwriter, journalist, and senior producer of KERA, our host for the evening, Jeff Whittington.
Thanks so much, Karen. Hello to everybody. So, why is the pen still powerful? And why does a certain voice, perhaps, cause you to sit up, take notice, and listen? And who thinks that words, thoughts, books, and poetry still matter? We do. Right? That's right. We are the ones who still care, and tonight we all have the lucky pleasure to hear from a distinguished member of this community. And I have to say, it's a genuine honor and pleasure to be able to introduce a man of many countries, languages, and letters. He's a poet, a prolific writer and thinker, and many of you already know his voice. Andrei Codrescu was born in Romania, where he discovered the fact that he was a poet and wrote his first poems as a young man. He left the then communist country in 1965 and ultimately settled in the United States. Now over here, he's lived and written in Detroit, New York, San Francisco, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and now the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas. He's published many, many books. He's written poetry, stories, essays, and reviews for many publications, including the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, the LA Times, Harper's, and the Paris Review. We've all heard Andrei's instantly recognizable voice as a commentator for NPR's All Things Considered since 1983. And in the 1990s, he won a Peabody Award for the PBS version of his film Road Scholar. It's an American road saga that he wrote and starred in and even learns to drive in at the very beginning. He's the founder and editor of Exquisite Corpse, an online journal of books and ideas, and he also reigned as King of the Crew de Vue for the 2002 New Orleans Mardi Gras season. His latest books are Bibliodeath, My Archives with Life and Footnotes, and So Recently Rent a World, New and Selected Poems, 1968 to 2012. Please welcome Andrei Codrescu.